Alright, now today's video is going to be, I'm really excited to do this one. This brings back so many memories. But this is going to be a top 10 recommendations for beginners, people who are just starting the fragrance journey. Real quickly, a little background, how I got started. It was over a year ago, I think back in last year around February, I think, or January. It was probably in the winter. At the time, I owned Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, and I got that off a recommendation off somebody else. I owned Marc Jacobs for Men, also a recommendation of somebody else. So I had some gems in the fragrance community, and I think I owned Michael Jordan and Mambo for Men, which was my middle school scent. And but I wasn't a collector yet, and I hadn't learned about reviewing and the community and none of that. I was reading a magazine, and I was looking at Burberry Brit. It was one of the recommendations on their magazine, and I said, well, let me go and see if there's any reviews on YouTube. There must be. So I went and searched it. I found a whole bunch of reviews, Mark and a bunch of people, and I watched all of the reviews. And by that time, I was hooked, and I had to click on a few other videos. I saw a few top 10s and things like that, and I clicked on them, and Little Angry was actually the guy. Little Angry and Hero and Tim were actually the three that I watched the most, and I was really hooked. They really introduced me to a lot of these fragrances. Some of these are newer additions, meaning that these on the list that I discovered them a little later, but I wish I had discovered them sooner. And some of them I did discover right away, and I've just grown to appreciate them over time. And if you're new to this game, this fragrance collecting game, and you just want to get right into the good stuff, right into the good stuff, and you don't want to waste any time, these are the ones that I'm going to tell you. They do a job, they do it well. There's probably none better at that job than they are. They're perfect, they're versatile, they're crowd pleasers, most of them are inexpensive, very affordable, and they're easy to purchase. They're not discontinued or hard to find or anything like that. Okay. First, we got two honorable mentions. As always, the first one's going to be a very inexpensive fragrance, and that is going to be Cuba Gold. Now, Cuba Gold, if you don't know, is supposed to be a cold weather scent, and it smells a lot of lavender and mint. It's a bit synthetic, just like the fragrance. It smells a lot like Le Mans, which is also synthetic. But for its price, I mean, this one is around $6 on Amazon. You can get it cheaper in a store, in a local store, a discounter. They're very inexpensive, these Cuba fragrances. The Cuba Gold one, though, for cold weather, this baby. I mean, Le Mans is huge for a lot of people. I personally don't like Le Mans, and I'm not a huge fan of this one, but this list isn't for me. This is for you guys. So I'm recommending that you go try this out. Just the price alone makes it blind buy worthy, in my opinion. So go ahead and blind buy it if you need to. You won't be disappointed, most likely, and if you are, it didn't cost you anything. So that's my honorable mention, number one. The second one is Acqua di Gio. And you're probably wondering, Acqua di Gio, honorable mention? I mean, that's a legend. It is a legend. But the problem with this one, there are two huge problems that knocked it out of this list. Number one is the price. I think this fragrance is really expensive if you're just getting started in this fragrance game. And it has to be a perfect fragrance when you're first starting out to throw up that much cash into one bottle this quickly. And this is disappointing because everybody and their grandmother wears this. I mean, seriously, everybody wears this. I don't know anybody who hasn't smelled Acqua di Gio. You give them a sample, you say, hey, what do you think of this? They're gonna recognize the smell. And for me, that's a big disappointment for how much you pay for it and for the other options that are out there. I would say you can check it out if you're just starting and you've never smelled Acqua di Gio. because if you can afford it, it does do its job well. Hot weather, it's a crowd pleaser, compliment getter, all those things. But you're gonna risk smelling like somebody they know, and that knocked it out of this list. Okay, let's get started at number 10. Number 10, this is the clubbing scent. When you're going out, when you're clubbing, it's definitely for cold weather. I gotta say, don't put this on in the heat. It's a drier, powdery, fruity, spicy scent, but it's known for its compliments. A bit synthetic, but this is for really when you're going out and you just want to be noticed and have fun. That is Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. And this is my brother's favorite scent. You can see I haven't used a whole lot. The juice is up to like right here. I haven't used a whole lot of it because my climate's very hot. But when it gets cold, this is definitely one when you're having fun. You know, when you're just letting loose and you just want to relax, chill, have a good time. This is one of those. You know, you want to be young. This is what you want to wear. Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. Definitely affordable too. I got this in a gift set actually on perfumania.com when they had one of their sales. They always have sales, so wait till they get those 25% off. And then one time they had 25% off and then $10 off, $50 or more, and free shipping, no minimum. So I mean they have sales every now and then. I think I paid $55 for the gift set. Came with a deodorant, aftershave, and the bottle, the big bottle. All right, my number 9. This one is another crowd pleaser. Mostly all of these, I think all of them are crowd pleasers. This is a compliment getter. A little bit more on the pricey side because it only comes in a 2.5 and a 4.2 ounce. So that makes the price a little higher because you can't really find the smaller ones. But it's in my opinion worth the money. It's very pleasing to the nose. You're going to feel comfortable. You can feel confident when you're wearing this. It's for hot weather, summertime. That is Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue. It's definitely one you want to check out if you're just getting started in this fragrance game. Now, where I live down by the border of Texas and Mexico, right on the tip. And we do have a lot of people from Mexico, and people from Mexico love to wear this one. So, which is why, for me, it really loses a lot of points because it reminds me of, you know, those they call them fresas, the rich Mexicans that come over here, and you know, they're kind of rude, they're kind of obnoxious people, so that kind of makes it lose points for me. But you guys really got to check this out if you're just getting started in the fragrance game. Sniff this. This may be signature scent worthy. You know, if you have a girlfriend, this may become her favorite. Just definitely give this one a try. Do not pass. Right away, one of the ones you want to check out. My number 8. This is going to be a not very well-known fragrance, especially if you're just getting started. You might have never heard of this one, but it's definitely worth looking into because, one, it's very inexpensive. Very inexpensive. And its performance, the longevity, the projection is very good on this one. It's a fresher scent, but it can work in cold weather, let me tell you. And this one is a crowd pleaser. I wouldn't consider it a compliment getter because it's not that bold. You know, it's not going to attract a lot of attention to you. You're just going to smell good and feel comfortable. And it's kind of like a subtle accessory. But it's definitely one that you want in your collection when you don't want to get, you know, you don't want to be too loud, but you just want to smell good. And in the spring, fall, and summer seasons, that's Chrome Legend by Azzaro. And very inexpensive. I think you can probably find a bottle like this one. This is a 2.5 ounce for around $20-25. I got this one on an auction actually for $15. But they usually don't go that cheap, but they're in that ballpark, around $20 to $25 for a bottle of this. And it will go a long way because it's great performing juice. What number am I on? 7. My number 7. This one is another one that you might not have heard of if you're just starting out. It's not a top seller, which is great. That's great about these two. And one other one here is that they're not well known, so that is a huge positive, and you're gonna realize that when you start getting involved in this fragrance game, is that when somebody knows what you're wearing and they say it reminds them of their dad or their brother or their ex, it really takes a hit on what you think about that fragrance. You're probably not gonna pick it up that often anymore. So when you can find these hard to find frags, I mean, really, really, really jump at that opportunity. If they do the job, you want to go out and get them right away. And this is Mont Blanc's Individual, and this is for colder weather. It smells. Let me tell you, it smells just like a very expensive legend, Creed's original Santal, which is known for being a compliment getter, and so is this baby right here. Let me tell you, in the cold weather, this will get you compliments. It will get you noticed. It's a bit of a fruity fragrance. It's got that I think it's juniper berry, and it's a little dry. It's a little warming, which is why I recommend it for cold weather. In the heat, this is not gonna perform so well. It kind of reminds me of candy a little, with some like quality ingredients in there. It's definitely worth the purchase. One that I would get right away if I were just starting in this fragrance game. You want to cover all your bases right away, and then just go out and experiment and sample stuff. But this is a bottle you want to get. Blind Buy worthy. Yes, 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 yes. Definitely Blind Buy worthy. All right, number 6. This is one you may have heard of. If for some reason it does have some name recognition in the real world, this is actually my dad's signature scent. My mom loves it. It's probably not her favorite of all of these because he's been wearing it so long. But I know a lot of girls who would say that this is probably one of their favorites. It's true, yes. It's a summer scent, it's a fresh scent, but it can be pulled off in cold weather because it's strong. The notes in there, they give it some kick in the cold weather. That is Versace Pour Homme. Very similar to Allure Homme Sport, but more of a lighter aquatic type of feel, and much more affordable. This one you can get for $35, the big bottle. Now in the fragrance community, you can probably get this one for around $28, with a little bit of juice missing. And it's a great bargain for what this does. And if you're just starting off in the fragrance game, definitely Blind Buy worthy. This is my second Blind Buy worthy fragrance on this list. And I would tell you, trust me guys, if you don't like it, you can send me hate mail. But I think you're going to love it. And I definitely recommend this if you're just starting off. Go out and get it, for especially if you live in a warmer climate. Versace Pour Homme. And I actually like that one in the evenings. For some reason, it does better in the evenings for me. My number 5, getting to the big guys. Number 5, this is one of the first fragrances I ever fell in love with. Before I learned about the fragrance game, I smelled this on a magazine, on one of those scent pages, and I was like, God, I got it rubbed on my nose when I was smelling it. It was at the library once in high school, and I mean, I was just like, wow, what is that? And back then I didn't have money, so I couldn't go out and just buy whatever I wanted. But if I did, I would have went and got this. And I thought it smelled so expensive and so fancy and so rich. I'm wearing it right now. It is my scent of the day. And that is L'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Beautiful bottle. Gorgeous bottle. It's got my fingerprints on it. Sorry, I should have cleaned it. Gorgeous, beautiful bottle. If it doesn't have the cap, it's kind of not as great. So get one with a cap. Don't get a tester. It's a mid-priced. It's around $50 for the 100 ml, and you can also find this one on perfumania.com and gift sets. You can probably pay around with the discounts and stuff that come around. Wait till those come out. You can get this one around $60 with a deodorant and an aftershave, or with this one and the little mini Definitely a good price, a good bargain for this one. If you can't wait, just go onto eBay or Amazon and purchase it there. Um, is it blind buy worthy? Yes, I have to say it is blind buy worthy. If your collection is dead and empty, blind buy worthy. If you're too young, like in middle school or elementary school, no, I would say this is probably not for you. This is for high school and up. If you're in high school, you can pull this off. You know, if you're more of an eccentric type of person. If you're a very playful, fun type of person, then you want to go for the playful sets, like the 1 millions, like the light blues, and I got another one here coming up soon. But this one, if you're college and up, you can pull this off. If you're in high school and you're one of the more ahead of your time type of people, pull this off. In that case, it is very blind buy worthy. I would actually blind buy. Um, I would actually blind buy Versace Pour Homme first before I bought this. This is a more mature one. So if you only got like a few um, dollars to buy a bottle or two, I would go for Versace first. Go for the Cuba, of course, and I do have another cheapie coming up right now, and it's definitely a lot of blind buy worthy fragrances right here. Number four, um, my last cheapie on this list, but it is not a cheap fragrance. Let me tell you, it's a legend in the fragrance community for a reason. Everybody knows this fragrance. Everybody owns it. So that tells you one thing. That means you should own it too, especially if you live in a warmer climate. I mean, this is perfect juice. If you only need one bottle and you had, 25 bucks and you could only buy one bottle and you were going to wear nothing else, this is one that I would recommend for you to get. If you're in a warmer climate, of course. If you're in a colder climate, I'd probably recommend individual. Warmer climate, this guy right here. This is Nautica Voyage, and it smells like a apple, a green apple, I think. Yes, and it smells like so watery. I mean, it's got some florals. It's got, I don't think it has watery notes or sea notes in it. But what the perfumer did, he's actually a pretty famous perfumer. I can't remember his name. What he did with this one was just amazing. He got a low budget. He didn't have a lot of money, and he picked ingredients that were gonna smell good, that didn't need to be expensive, ingredients that were inexpensive, that would smell great when put together, and he just made this combination that it's beautiful. But with this one, let me warn you guys, I have to warn you, do not overspray. It will smell terrible if you overspray. This one, it really depends on how light you are on the trigger. Go very light. Projection longevity is great, so you don't have to worry about that. But go very light, very easy. Light spray here, light spray here. Maybe a light spray on your arm, a light spray on your other arm. Be very light on the trigger. That's the key word here. If you want an atomizer, just in case, this is a great one to atomize. It's pretty linear, to be honest, and to me that's a good thing. I like linear fragrances. I don't like fragrances that switch it up too much, because I might like the top, the mid, or the bottom better, and I want the whole fragrance to smell like that. So this one smells very good from top to bottom. Nautica Voyage. My number three. My number three is another one of those playful, fun, night out fragrances. I don't see this as a signature scent, to be quite honest, because I don't think this should be worn on day-to-day, everyday situations like work and stuff. I think you gotta save the best for those special occasions. Save it for when you're having fun with your friends, or when you're going to a party, or something, a date. Save this one for when it can really do its job. Don't waste the juice here. It does have a bit of longevity problem, so hopefully the event you're going to is not going to last more than 4 hours. But it is one of the best designers ever made to be quite frankly, based on its smell alone. And I'm sure all the experienced noses already know what I'm talking about. That is Dolce & Gabbana's The One. And this one, a little pricier for the longevity that it has, but this one is definitely blind buy worthy. It's something that you're gonna eventually buy. You can eventually own it, no matter what. You might as well go get it right now if you have the money for it. You're gonna cough up around $50 for 100 mil. It smells like fruit punch with tobacco, a very mature, expensive smelling fruit punch. And just to give you an example, I first got this one, and I wore it, but my girlfriend at the time didn't like it. She has very particular taste, and she doesn't like cologne-y smelling things. She likes the fresher scents, the lighter scents, and she didn't really like this one, so I wasn't able to wear it that much, and I had to swap it. As soon as I sold it or swapped it, I wanted it back. I missed it so much, so I went and got it, and now it's in my collection. It's gonna stay here. It's never gonna leave again. Dolce & Gabbana's The One. My number 2. This was, if you've seen my summer top 10 video, this was my number 1 for summer. It's the most expensive on this list, I think. Yes, by far, the most expensive. You can't get this discount. You're gonna have to go to Macy's or Dillard's or wherever they sell this juice and get it retail. Unless you can get somebody to hook you up online with a used bottle. I did get this one on eBay used. I paid about $1 a mil, and that's what it goes for, really. This is Bleu de Chanel. It's a summer powdery, citrusy with ginger and some incense in there, and perfect for nights. This actually works great in the cold. I'm learning. We got a chilly night the other day, and I wore it, and it was even better. So it works in the heat, not the extreme heat, but the heat it works, and it also works in the fresher times. And I'm guessing it won't work in the super cold times, but when it gets fresh, it's still, it's perfect. This one can be worn at work. It can be worn to church, to a wedding, to a party, to school. It can be worn anywhere. It's very versatile. Bleu de Chanel, definitely blind buy worthy if you can afford its heavy price tag, which is around $80 to $90 for the 100 mils. Most of these that I'm mentioning, you kind of do want to get the big bottles if you like it. If you test it and you like it, go for the bigger bottles, because you're gonna use a lot of this juice. My number one. This was one of the first loves in my fragrance journey, and I loved it before I saw any review on it. I went out and bought it, and then I went to YouTube to see what you guys were saying, and there were a billion reviews on it, and everybody loved it. And it's just a legend in the fragrance community. This one, along with DHI, and you guys already know right now what I'm talking about. They're just known as the sexy superstars of the designer game, and you can get this one for around $55. It's well worth the money. I wish we had colder weather down here in Texas, to be honest, because this one performs beautifully in the cold. In the heat, not so much, but in the cold, it's beautiful. This is La Nuit de l'Homme, the night version of L'Homme. And I'm telling you, Yves Saint Laurent, with these L'Homme bottles, they really hit the nail on the head. This fragrance is cold weather. Oh man, it's cold weather in a bottle. It's beautiful stuff. If you're just starting out in the fragrance game, you have to smell this. You have to go down to Sephora, go to Perfumania, and don't smell it next to other fragrances. Just smell this one only, because you really have to appreciate everything that's in this. And when the cold weather comes around, I'm going to be reaching for this as much as I possibly can, because I love this juice, and I haven't been able to use enough of it. My weather's so hot. But if you live in a colder climate, that is blind buy worthy right there. It's a compliment getter. It's probably the most famous compliment getter. One of the most famous compliment getters out there in the designer world, along with The One. And that's my list, guys. So if you're just starting off, take a look at these fragrances. The cheaper ones are definitely blind buy worthy. If you want to go and blind buy them, trust me, you're not gonna waste your money. They're beautiful fragrances, and they're made great gifts also if you're looking to gift it to somebody. Um, Let me know what you guys think of these. Let me know what you think of my list. Rate, comment, and please subscribe. Thank you guys. Take it easy.